Dave Kenworthy here again. Just got time to show you the metrology of the Aubrey circle. What is the metrology of Tom's Aubrey circle? Well, the Aubrey circle, Tom tells us, is 897.6 feet. And that is the megalithic yard, 2.72 feet, times by the old meter, which is 3.3 feet, and that gives 8.976 feet. So we multiply it by 100 to get 897.6. Now, I believe that the ancient designers were using 100 units in a foot, so that's 272, and that's 330, and it gives this number here, 897.6. I believe that's the number that they were using. And 8970 is 5280 times 17, so that's 17 miles. So this Aubrey circle, on first sight, looks crazy, 897.6 feet, but it's actually 17 miles in length. The megalithic yard is 17 times 16, which is 272. Straight away we can see that there's a manipulation of base 2, because 16 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And 17 is a prime number, and it's part of the nodal cycle, which is 6,800 days, so it's a fraction of the nodal cycle. So that's the metrology. It's the ancient meter, the old meter, multiplied by the megalithic yard. Now, Algernon Berryman tells us quite a few things. And what I'm saying is that this mathematics is the maths of illusion. Now, John Neal wrote a book titled Oldham with Mirrors, and he was talking about what these people were doing. They were putting numbers inside other numbers, and then inside those numbers they were putting other numbers as well. So you always know that what you're looking at is not what you're seeing. So I'm going to give you an example. This is 7. This number that I'm going to put in here represents 7, and it's 10 barleycorns. So we go 3.6. And that number, 3.6 recurring, is 7. Represents 7, and it's 10 barleycorns. And this number now that I'm going to put in, that represents 27. That represents 28. That represents 6. That's 22 over 7. And Berryman tells us in his book, Historical Metrology, that they were using a royal cubit of 20.625 imperial inches. And this is 28.28571 digits. And that's 198 over 7. He gives us the Egyptian meter as 39.375 imperial inches, and that's 54 digits. And what we find is 20.625 divided by 39.375 is the base unit that's being used here. So if we divide that by this base unit, we get 7. And the base unit is the royal cubit divided by the Egyptian meter, which is incredibly complicated, but somehow he managed to work it out. And the thing that follows on from this is the long Egyptian meter is 39.375 multiplied by 176, and there are 1,760 cubits in the base of the Great Pyramid, divided by 175 being 3.3 imperial feet. So we're getting 39.6 from Berryman's Egyptian work, and we're finding it at Stonehenge. And it's as simple as that. Now we're going on to the mathematics of illusion, because I've shown you a quick example there. This 8976 is a mathematical illusion. Ancient illusory mathematics. Chameleon maths, the magic eye, Babylonian outputs in disguise. Now, a few years ago, one of my sons bought the Magic Eye book as a Christmas present for someone, and the family were all together, and everybody was looking at this Magic Eye book and seeing 3D images on every page, and I couldn't see it. And I got so frustrated, and my son came up to me and he said, "Dad, you're not relaxed enough. You need a beer. Here, have a pint of this." And he gave me a pint of Bishop's Finger, which is English real ale, and it's a really fantastic beer. So I drank it, and he came back a few minutes later. He said, "How are you feeling?" I said, "I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now." He said, "You're so wound up with work." He said, "You just can't relax enough to see." He said, "I'll give you another beer and I'll have a few swigs and then have a look at the book again." So he did, and I looked again and I still couldn't see it, and I drank more of the beer, and then all of a sudden I saw what everybody else was seeing. And that's the way it is with these Babylonian numbers. There's something inside what you're looking at, and you can't see it until you know what they were doing. And I couldn't see these 3 dolphins in 3D on this page until my son explained to me that I had to relax. And it's the same kind of illusion when we look at 897.6, because that's in feet. So the obvious number coming out of that is multiply by 12, and we get 10771.2. What kind of number is that, you'd say? Anybody would. But when you divide it by Tom's megalithic inch, we get 13200. Now that is a big number in metrology because it's 10 times 11 times 12. That's 1320, so it's times 10 again. So it's 100 times 11 times 12. We multiply that by 12, we get 1584. And that is a unit that I call a Venus unit, because that is a 3/10 of a mile. And if we divide by the base 100 Egyptian digit, we get 216000. And why are we dividing by? It's 0.7333 recurring. The base 100 Egyptian digit. It's 2 barleycorns, 2 ancient barleycorns. Why are we dividing by it? Because there are 6,336 inches in a mile. And if we divide that by 0.733, we get 86400. And this is what I've been saying for a long time, that the mile represents a day, and that's a day in seconds, 86400. And that's why we're using this number, because when you divide it into a mile, you get a day in seconds. And when we divide that number into 1584, we get 216000. And that is 60 times 60 times 60. And that is that. That's the mathematical illusion. We're looking at that, but really it's that. And we're looking at that, but really it's that, and it's that. And the reason why it's this, and this, is because of this, the megalithic inch. Tom got it exactly right. So this is Babylonian mathematics. 60 times 60 times 60 is a unit of length. 3600 is area, and 216000 is volume. And Berryman tells us that there are 216000 stades in the ancient Earth circumference. 21600 stades. And guess how long a stade is? It's 10,000 digits. What does that make a stade, which is a geodetic mile? We'll go plus 10123 times 0.73. Obviously it's that, and we divide it by 12. 611,111 feet. And he tells us that the geodetic mile is the stade times 10. So we multiply that by 10. That's the geodetic mile. And we divide that by 10,000, by 100,000. Right, 1, 2, 3 times 86400, we get 5280. And that's it. That's what it's all about. Why is this all so important? The Giza base that Berryman gives us is 50,000 digits. It's 36666.666 inches. If we divide that by 25, we get the eclipse unit. And if we divide it and if we multiply that, we get that's the solar year, eclipse year, and that's the lunar eclipse year. Now, at the Great Pyramid, the unit of translation is 100 inches. So this is representing 366.666 solar days. That's representing 352 solar days. Tom told us they were using a year split into 32 parts. 11. They were counting in periods of 11 days. 32 times 11 is 352. And that's exactly what we've come to expect. So there's a lot in this. And we need to understand this before we properly look at what the Aubrey circle is giving us. So that's it for now.